Hey, it's me, Disney H. If you don't know who that is, I'm the same guy who made these other Blue Archive videos. Speaking of which, I made a Blue Archive review video back in 2023, and since then, many people have been asking me to make a part 2 to that video. But honestly, even though I do love Blue Archive and want to make more content out of it, I genuinely don't know what else more there is to say about the game. Like sure, there are some points in my original video I would like to elaborate on, but I don't think it is really enough to fit one whole video, you know. I was also planning to review Blue Archive the animation and release it last year, but I also have nothing to say about it, and so I procrastinated on it so much to the point I've only written the introduction segment to that script. But then something happened that changed everything.
I've been waiting for this my whole life. Misono Mika, you did it.
Now, if you have watched my original Blue Archive review video, you would know that I liked Misono Mika. Not to the point I'll make a whole video dedicated to her, but she was definitely on my top 10 list of Blue Archive characters at the time. But now, after finishing her relationship stories, I can safely say that she's my second favorite Blue Archive character, second to Mutsuki, and she's objectively the best Blue Archive character of all time. It was just this sudden realization of what Mika represented that clicked with me as I was playing through those relationship stories. It was as if my third eye opened or some shit. You see, senseis? This is why you should never skip your students' relationship stories, because you may just end up missing out on those character growth and depth that the main stories don't show. Before we jump into the analysis, I'd like to mention that there will be spoilers for Blue Archive's story, so please finish Eden Treaty and Mika's relationship stories before watching this video. Without further ado, let's get into every aspect of what makes Misono Mika so special to me. Yeah, Mika is really pretty. She looks great no matter which outfit she is wearing, whether it be her tracksuit, her swimsuit, her normal fit, and don't get me started on those times where her arms are exposed, like that shit got me going like boing. All seriousness though, I really like her design. It really shows her personality. For example, Mika is part of the Tea Party group, which is an extremely prestigious and fancy group of people. But Mika is none of that. Mika only joined the Tea Party because her childhood bestie Nagisa was inside, which is a really stupid decision to make in real life. Never join a club just because your friend is in there. Anyway, Mika's somewhat tardy nature is shown in the outfit she wears. Firstly, Mika is the only member of the Tea Party to do something unique with her hair. Unlike Nagisa and Sia, who wear their hair loose to match the Tea Party's formal image, Mika's small bun hints at her more laid-back and playful nature. Secondly, compared to Mika, both Nagisa and Sia have pretty bland dresses. Mika's outfit stands out with a starry pattern, not just under her dress, but also on her wristband, setting her apart from the more traditional Tea Party members. Also, did you guys ever notice that Mika places stickers on her wing? These details add so much to her character, and shows that Mika doesn't really want to be part of such a formal group. Seriously, Blue Archive doesn't miss with its designs. I would also like to point out Mika's wide range of expressions. I love how the developers give her different eye designs to exaggerate her expressions, such as her shocked face, her sad face, her threatening face, and who could forget? These wide range of expressions suit Mika because she's a very loud and charismatic character, which perfectly transitions to I am a sucker for larger-than-life, funny fictional characters, and Misono Mika is no exception. She's just a really fun character, and she really steals the show whenever she's on screen. You can clearly tell that from my reaction when I was streaming Volume F.
Oh, is Mika gonna appear? I sure hope Mika appears.
Yeah! Mika is innocent and naive, almost like a fairy tale princess. But that same naivete makes her easy to manipulate, which perfectly explains why she gets into bad situations so often. Additionally, this naivete really gives off a youthful energy, really hammering it down that Mika is still a student and has much to learn about the world. I think what I like most about Mika is how energetic and charismatic she is. If you read her official diary, you can see that she zips around different topics really quickly. On top of that, she also gets easily distracted and has a low attention span. Also, a huge yapper. She's literally me for real. I know some players find Mika annoying, but that's kind of the point. Her personality isn't just there for comedy, it directly affects her struggles and the way others perceive her. She's meant to be annoying. That's why she has a hard time fitting in and why it is so hard for people of Trinity to forgive her for what she has done. It adds a sense of realism to the hatred she's receiving, as you can sort of understand where the Trinity students are coming from. You see, unlike some comedic reliefs, her quote-unquote annoying personality is meant to enhance the story and her character. And I mean, at least she has personality and isn't just a one-sided antagonist who does bad things for no rhyme or reason. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about her personality. Misono Mika is just pure chaos in the best way possible, and I love every second of it. Mika isn't just an excellent character, she's also an absolute unit when it comes to the gameplay. Mika is pretty overpowered, extremely useful for boss fights, tactical challenges, and bounties, since she's not only a tanker, but she also pretty much one-shots anyone. Unless it is Yuka or Tsubaki, they are practically invincible. My only problem with Mika's gameplay is that her EX skill kinda takes a little too long to load up, and she does lose HP rather easily, but those are just slight nitpicks. Mika is still one of the most overpowered characters in the game, and I do have a hard time whenever my tactical challenge opponent has her. Yeah, the developers really knocked it out of the park with this one. But all that, the design, the personality, the gameplay, that's just the surface level of what makes Misono Mika so special to me. Now, let's talk about what truly sets her apart. I'm gonna outright admit this. Misono Mika is a bad person. She did some really messed up shit, such as sabotaging the Eden Treaty just because she hated Gehenna. I get that Trinity students have their biases against Gehenna and that Mika was manipulated, but that doesn't excuse discrimination. Wrong is wrong. I totally understand why Sensei raises his voice at Mika when she does her little twist villain monologue. It's perfectly justified. Afterwards, Sensei and the Makeup Work Club beat the ever-living hell out of Mika, and she ends up in the Huscow. But then a misunderstanding pushes her to the edge. She believes Sia was killed by the area squad. Fueled by rage and grief, she breaks out of the dungeon, determined to kill Saori. However, Sensei listens and talks things out with Mika. Eventually, Mika redeems herself by fighting off Barbara and her legion of super friends. After Sensei and Aries complete the task of saving Atsuko, Sensei goes back to check out on Mika, and she's bleeding her ass out, really showing that she's willing to push herself to her limits to help Sensei and be a better person. Sensei then tells Mika that she's his worst student. I like how the game doesn't sugarcoat the fact that Mika is a bad person. They make Sensei have natural human reactions to her actions, and then we get this extremely iconic line when he defends Mika. I wanted to cheer when Sensei dropped one of the hardest lines in the game. I love this line because it emphasizes that no matter how evil or how naughty his students are, Sensei will always support them. It's a perfect callback to the first part of Eden Treaty when Sensei says he will support Mika's actions, no matter what. So that's already a good way to wrap up Mika's arc, correct? Nah, Blue Archive creators don't just stop there. They go out of their way to put their damn hardest in concocting one of fiction's greatest characters. In her relationship stories, you can see the remorse that Mika feels towards her previous actions. She genuinely wants to be out of trouble and be a better person. Of course, she isn't 100% a saint yet, still causing a little mischief in her L2D story where she literally trapped Sensei in her room for one whole night. I mean, let's be real, people need time to change, and this part of her relationship story just adds more realism to her character. However, that's not the best part of Mika's relationship story. The thing that made me realize Mika was a spectacular character was her final relationship story. In this story, we hear that Mika got into trouble again, apparently beating up one of the students, and so of course, Sensei goes back to check up on Mika. Now, you'd expect Sensei to nag and lecture her about how beating people is wrong. However, Sensei does the amazing thing of listening. Before jumping to conclusions or judging, he listens to Mika's perspective and why she did it. I absolutely love this as it shows how Sensei understands Mika. Mika doesn't like lectures, so he teaches Mika by using a method that best suits her, which is to listen. So during the first relationship story, Sensei buys Mika a swimsuit because she's broke. So Mika treasured it. However, that day, one of her classmates decided to tear the swimsuit and throw it. This of course infuriates Mika, making her want to punch the perpetrator. However, for the first time, Mika thinks before she acts. This is fantastic character development, because we are shown time and time again that Mika acts impulsively. She lets go of the student despite them destroying something that meant a lot to her. And, they also gave her nasty remarks, but that's just a little side quest thing that doesn't really matter. I'm going off script now. Sorry about that. Go back to script. But then one of them stupidly falls over, which injures them, and then they blame Mika for it, and that's how we ended up here. So as you can see, Misono Mika isn't in the wrong in this situation. However, everything ends well as Sensei gives Mika a new swimsuit, and they both go to the unused swimming pool, which is an extremely nice callback to Eden Treaty, especially since that was the exact place where Sensei told Mika that he would support her decisions no matter what. Then the episode caps off with one last gag. Damn, this may just be my favorite Blue Archive relationship story ever. This story made me realize that Mika wasn't just a character, she was a message. She represented troubled students or troubled people in general, how anyone can change if given the chance. Sometimes all it takes is for someone to listen. Why discriminate against bad people when you can help them re-enter society as a better person? Why be an antagonist in someone's life when you can make a positive impact? I'm sure all of us have done some pretty messed up shit in our lives, a chapter of our past we want to erase and make people forget. But let's all be real, what's done cannot be undone, and the best thing to do is become a better version of ourselves. But becoming a better person isn't easy in the slightest, especially if everyone around you doesn't see your improvements and keeps thinking of you for your flaws. So the best thing we can do is to listen. Find suitable methods in helping people. I would also like to briefly talk about the incredible Misono Mika PV song, Do You Want to Kiss Angel? As I feel it also enhances this message a bit. The lyrics and visuals in the first half of the song are dark and gloomy, showing Mika's darker past. Then she falls down to the abyss, which I interpret as her lowest point in life. However, this weird bright blue thing comes down from the light and pulls Mika back up, which I think represents Sensei. From there onwards, the lyrics and visuals become more bright and cheery, showing how Mika is finally happy because someone accepted and helped her through her darkest moments. Sometimes, that's what the worst people need, a helping hand to help them get out of the abyss. God, I love Do You Want to Kiss Angel? Please check it out after the video is over. Misono Mika represents more than just a troubled student. She represents the potential for change. Why push people away for their past mistakes when you can make them become better? Everyone has regrets, moments they wish they could erase. But the past is the past. What matters is growth, and Mika's story shows that even the worst student, the worst person, can change if we just give them the chance to. Unless you're the kind of imbecile who refuses to change no matter how many chances you get, then yeah, maybe the world does have a point in shunning you. In summary, Misono Mika isn't just a character I myself love. She's a character that means so much to the entire Blue Archive fandom. Almost everyone agrees that she's one of the best written characters in the game, and honestly, they are right. I'm not the only one who has done an in-depth analysis on her. There are tons of fantastic Mika analysis videos out there, and I highly recommend checking them out. Of course, for every beloved character, there will always be those who dislike them. Some people outright despise Mika, not just because she's annoying, but because of the things that she's done. Truth be told, I don't think you guys truly understand what it means to be Sensei. Mika was never meant to be perfect. She was meant to be flawed, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. As Sensei, our role is to guide her, to correct her, to help her grow. She's not a lost cause. She's a work in progress. With that being said, I want to be clear. If you dislike Mika, that's totally fine. I know I say this in every analysis video, but I really mean it. Opinions are opinions. There's a difference between an unpopular opinion and a bad opinion. A bad opinion is one that actively harms others or yourself. And disliking Mika, that's not harming anyone. So if you're not a fan of her, that's perfectly fine. But what about you guys? Do you agree with me or do you despise Mika? Let me know in the comments. I will read every single one of them. No matter what though, I will always stand by Mika. What can I say? I was always more of a Misono Mika person. Mika isn't a witch, she's my student. And as long as I'm alive, I will continue to defend my princess. Thanks for watching and good night, Kivatos.